This is a comparison between the Alienware last gen. This is an i7 8th gen. This is the M17. And then over here I have the LG Gram. This is the latest. It's pretty, as you can tell, the comparison. That one's a lot thicker and this one's a lot thinner. But also this doesn't have side speakers. It only has one speakers, which are on the bottom, which I really don't like about for LG. So it kind of muffles especially when you're laying on bed or. This has to be on glass or something, or surface. It's good to note. This is pretty standard for the grams, as they're small as far as display to screen, really small. And then over here you get the Alienware, the M17. This is probably last year's or previous generations. As you can tell, very bulky at the bottom. But as far as comparing the both, let's see how fast one of them does the other. This is an i5, and that's an i7. So hypothetically, you would think the Alienware would do better, but never know. That one took about 2 seconds to load. Let's see how this one takes to load. That one, yeah, about 2 or 3 seconds. So it's about the same as far as loading pages. Let's see how fast they can boot the internet. Back here. Okay, so this is LG, and then this is Alienware. And then push the LG one. So actually the Alienware actually does better like it's supposed to because of the i7. Even though this one, I also have a lot more stuff on this one for the LG Gram. But as you can tell, the i7 is still better as far as booting stuff up. And that should be the same for loading pages as well. This thing is the i7, and this is the i5. So you think this is the newer generation. This is the brand new thing from LG. I mean, it's not all that comparable as far as that. Like, you're not going to notice the difference. i5 to i7. It's not, you're not going to notice it all that much. This is the 10th and that's the 8th. You're not going to notice it all that much, but you still notice it. It's probably like a half a second. As far as the cameras, this one I anticipate probably going to have a better camera because it is a little bit usually more expensive. But both of them they're pretty standard. Yeah, both of them are pretty comparable. They're about the same. So that is it as far as the LG Gram and the Alienware. If you're trying to decide between them, they're both really good. If you already have the Alienware, it's not really worth the upgrade. Because, like I said, this one will set you about $1,000. But this is good for school, and this is good for gaming. This is what I use this one for, is school. Because it's, small, tiny. You can get around with it really quick. This thing ain't going nowhere because this thing is just too heavy. That thing's like a cinder block. This thing is not. This thing is really light. I would say about maybe 2 pounds. It's really light. This thing is as heavy as can be. As far as the chargers too, as you can tell, that's the LG. The white one is the LG. As you can tell, that's really small. And then this is the Alienware charger. It's like your, cinder block. It's probably 3 or 4 pounds. But as far as which one I prefer, I just got the Alienware, so I don't really know yet. But the LG Gram, I love the LG Gram. I've used that for about 6 months. Things pretty fast. As long as you don't have, don't use it for anything insane. Would I use it for gaming? Probably not. Just because it's an i5, I'd probably do the i7 if that was the case. Just because, a little faster process speed. But this one, it's got 4 fans on it. So even though it's heavier, you can definitely use that for gaming or, whatever you're going to use it for. That's a big difference in distinguishing feature. Is just what are you going to use it for? Obviously, I wouldn't want to travel with this because this is just too heavy and too bulky to put it in a suitcase or anything of that nature. This one, on the other hand, totally worth it. It's a lot smaller. You can move it a lot more. It's not gonna, it's not gonna cost you more in the suitcase because of, they go on weight. So that's as far as the ports go, they're about the same. One distinguishing thing on this one is this has got a manual port, which is kind of nice. That one does not have that. So if you're trying to manually connect, that's a big distinguishing feature. This one's got 2 ports, USBs, but that's all it's got. It doesn't got a C port or, adapter or nothing. This has got the C port. Still got 2 USBs. It's got the SD slots for cameras or whatever. And then, of course, it's got your headphone jack. This one's got the headphone jack, too. So it just depends on what you want to use it for. Both of them are pretty decent as far as reliability. And, yeah.